Now, how crazy would I have to be to watch a 4-hour and 24-minute long live stream about the moon landings being fake? Yeah, you may as well go and get the rum now because you know the answer to that one. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, I am the Sarcastic Bowman. Welcome to the channel. And yes, in my searching this evening for videos of stupidity and crazy and downright daftness, I stumbled across a live stream that was 4 hours long. Now, normally I would ignore a video this long, but I'd spent an hour looking for something reasonable to do. I was getting a bit desperate and thought, fair, you know what? Stuff it. We can just take clips out of it. I watched one clip. They mentioned 9/11. I don't think this video might be for everyone, but it could be really, really funny.
Obviously, we're going to talk about the Apollo moon landing hoaxes, NASA's fake space program, and of course that can lead us in so many directions. And I just want to say, people might be like, well, I thought you weren't going to talk about the fakery anymore. You're not going to focus on it. I'm not, but like I said, when things are timely or when I need to go back and reflect, and it's the frickin' anniversary, so this is timely. This is what I do every year. I come back and talk about the moon hoax. I come back and talk about 9/11.
Right, you talk about this every year. So let's take bets now on whether there's any points that haven't been completely and utterly debunked to hell and back. I have a feeling there won't be, and I have a feeling that if this creator ever watches this video, that his main point will be, nuh-uh, it's not been debunked, nuh-uh, you're a shill, nuh-uh, NASA pays you, or words to such effect.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, the moon landing for me, I got to after 9/11, and what got me there was kind of interesting when I realized that 9/11 was a complete sham.
Hey, YouTube algorithm me bots of doom. I am not saying that 9/11 was a hoax, inside job or anything like that. I am not. The people I am looking at in this video are. Not me. Please bear this in mind. I think they are crazy. Okay? Right. I think I've finished talking clear enough that even the subtitles will pick up that shite. This video is so getting fucked.
And, I'm an engineer, so like I started actually with the actual science of the rocket. And I started, looking at what they told us they launched.
Well, after sitting through a section of the American Emergency Service numbers, which is what it's now going to be called and referred to, we finally get to something that might be interesting. Yes, so he's an engineer. We're actually going to get engineering details, I'm guessing, about the Saturn V rocket and everything like that, about maybe the insulation on the lander and how he thinks that insulation wouldn't be able to protect them, or it wouldn't give enough for the cold vacuum of space. Who knows? It might be talking more about the engines on the rocket. We're going to have to wait and see, but that actually sounds interesting for once. Yeah, I'm really hoping here, aren't I?
Mm-hmm. And when I looked at the amount of fuel that they had on, that they say that they put up there, and the weight of this rocket,
it's ridiculous.
It was something like 9 million pounds, right?
Yeah.
9 million pounds they lifted off the launch pad. And I started...
Now, I don't mind someone correcting me down in chat, but no, it didn't weigh 9 million pounds. I can find it having a gross weight of over 6 million pound, but not 9 million pound. The only reference I can find anywhere to 9 million pound in regards to the Saturn V was its total amount of thrust, but this was all the different stages added together. So, no. If someone wants to correct down in chat, that'd be great. Otherwise, I think we know how badly this video may be going for these guys already. And the fact they're just laughing, your big heavy thing can't go to space. Why? Because it's big and heavy. Right. Okay.
I started calculating how much 9 million pounds was. And I literally like had diagrams that showed like 3,200 Toyota Corollas.
Now at least his mass doesn't seem to be too far off. If a Saturn V rocket weighed £9 million, that would be the equivalent to 3,175 Toyota Corollas. So he had done some mass during this whole thing. The surprising thing is, though, we still can't find reference to it being £9 million. But why go down the route of, no, it's big and heavy, it can't go space? Surely as an engineer you should be focusing more on the engines with £8 million worth of thrust, or just under at sea level. And then you should be able to go, well, look, the amount of thrust available to the rocket, if it did weigh £9 million, means it couldn't physically lift off. That would be a good point. Then we'd have to look more at the sources, find the weights, look at the engines. Instead, you're doing the, it's big and heavy, it can't go space.
It's interesting, though, because you bring up the science of it, and so, like,
What science has he brought up? He said the Saturn V weighs this amount, which we don't think he's given the right amount, and he said this amount is equivalent to 3,200 cars, or 100 houses. Yes, he did use a reference of 100 houses, but it went on for ages, so he cut it out. And that's been it. The whole thing is, it weighs a lot, therefore no space. Okay. This is the level we seem to be dealing with.
everybody knows, I was heavy into media fakery. So my angle coming in, not my angle, but like my, the first thing I'm going to spot is media fakery when I'm looking at the fucking moon landing, right? But besides that, like, one of the things that really got me was, and I told you there's a few documentaries and movies and stuff I watched I was going to say in my early stages of looking at the moon landing, but there weren't any later stages, because it's like you look at it and you know right away, right?
Yeah.
Like,
I think I can understand why this stream was 4.5-ish hours long, because it seems to take this guy forever to actually make a point. But unlike some people, he's not silenced during those points. He's just talking for the sake of talking.
you continue to look at it for a few days to make sure, but if you don't know within a few hours, maybe the gears really aren't clicking in your head. But for me, like I said, there was this movie called Dark Mission 1 and 2, and the one was all about all the lunar photography and all the anomalies, the lighting issues, the impossibilities, the no dust kicked up on the lander. And I have
40 feet down, 2.5, picking up some dust. Great shadow.
Now, as we just heard in that clip, there was dust kicked up by the engine of the lunar lander. But then the question comes, well, why is it not all in the pads? Why is it not all spread out everywhere? Because one, there's no atmosphere, and that does change how things work. If there's no air or anything to catch the dust, to slow down its fall, it's just going to go up and almost basically straight down. And more likely it's not actually going to go up, it's just going to go out. So, yeah, that doesn't fit with your there's no dust thing. There are actually photos, if you bother to do any research and have a look, where you can see this sort of strange trail mark. Yet that was from the lunar lander coming down very slowly, because it didn't just come gloop, blop, straight down. It came very slowly across the surface of the moon and coming down and then landing to its spot. It's almost as though you've done no research on any of this and just gone, ha ha, big thing can't go space, dust go down and up and in my nose. Dust.
some images that I put on my website like 11 years ago that we'll go through in a little bit. But the second video was all about the technical impossibilities of everything from the spacesuits to the alleged Van Allen belts,
You mean the Van Allen belts that even Van Allen himself claims wouldn't have, killed the astronauts? Those ones. No? These different Van Allen belts not discovered by Van Allen? No? Or you just cherry-picking which bits of NASA and space stuff you believe and ignoring the other bits? Yeah, I think you're doing that, aren't you?
So this is my website, right? So this is my Apollo page. I put this page up. I actually put this page up 10 and a half years ago, but I actually debunked it in 2011. But this is a show I did on April 21st, 2012. And, there's an audio show. It's one of my old podcasts. You guys should check it out sometime. You hear young me. But I go into all the shadow issues and the issues with the photography and stuff. But, I mean, look at this thing. And so I was calling this out as construction paper and aluminum foil back then. Like that's the first thing I thought when I looked at this. I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, how do you see something like this and even call that science, dude?
I see. It's the tried and tested method of, I don't think it looked good, therefore it no work. Yeah, that sort of thing. Brilliant, yeah. So what was the outer layer of the lunar module? What was the next layer? And then the layer after that. And the next layer after that. Because, yeah, there were several layers of that lunar module. No, don't know those bits, no. That's a shame, because it's quite interesting. I'll include a link down below for a very handy sort of PDF that's got basically the quick sort of data for it, the different layers, its weights and things like that. Some handy little bits that people might be interested in. Most of you may have seen it before. If you haven't, it's a nice little reference guide.
How do you think this thing fucking moves around or survives in space? This thing wouldn't survive in tonight's thunder shower that we had here. Literally.
Yeah.
It would have been done. All done.
No.
Now, firstly, that's a claim that you've given no supporting evidence for. Your claim is, it looks crap and won't survive a storm. Now, the thing is, it might not survive heavy winds and rain and things like that. Because you know what? It wasn't designed to. Those things don't exist in space. I mean, I don't... What the fuck do you want from it at this point? It wouldn't survive a storm. Good job there's no fucking storms in space then. Such a redundant claim to make. But again, you've given no information of what it's made of, what its layers were, about its aluminium skin, about its micrometeorite shielding. Nothing.
I mean, you got foil that is just like flopping around there. It's unbelievable, dude, that they actually presented that.
Why? Do the aesthetics of the object matter if it works? This is the point you're not raising. You're, there's floppy foil, and there's no wind to blow it off. So what's it matter if it looks floppy to you? You give no sort of engineering reference onto why anything is wrong after making the claim of being an engineer at the start of all this. All the claims in this video have been so far, literally, it doesn't look right, or this too heavy, can't believe go space. It's a bit of pathetic sort of debunky stream, really, isn't it? I mean, I'm amused at the level of incompetence that I've viewed so far, but it's a bit sad at the same time that there is nothing actually there. You say you do these streams yearly. Well, surely you should have nice, precise points to go through to say, yes, look, right, we're going to start with the Saturn V rocket. It weighed this much, and actually have the right weight, obviously. And its engines were this big, and there was this much fuel, but it couldn't have gone that high. And explain why you think it couldn't have gone that high. Unfortunately, all you've done at the moment is say, it's really heavy, it can't go. No reference or engineering for anything. It's just sad that I'm going to have to split this video up into multiple parts, aren't I? I hate my life. My glass is empty. Jesus. Right, I think we'll leave it there, and I'll let you decide if I'm going to do a part 2. I don't even know why I'm going to let you decide, because I know you all hate me and you'll make me do a part 2. So, yeah, we'll see what the next stupid claim of these people is going to be. If it's going to actually be backed up by the engineer. More than likely not. Right, for everyone who hasn't run off, important notice. There is a debate going on which will be Saturday night on the Shills channel, M2M, debating whether we did go to the moon with someone. I can't remember who. I just have it stored somewhere at the back of my head that this debate is going to be going on because I set my notification for it. Unfortunately, I can't watch it live. I'm going to a wedding. Yeah, I'm actually taking a Saturday off. It's scary. And I'm like, wedding. Pub closed. Scary, scary times. But, friend, staff member, gotta go to the wedding, really. It's going to be a good laugh. Thank you very... Yeah, you can tell how brain-numbed I am after all this. thank you very much everyone who's joined us tonight, and thank you for everyone who helps make these videos possible. From members, Patreons, even people who just leave a comment and a like, it all means a lot. Hopefully I'll catch you on the next one where my brain will not be as melted by these people. Who am I kidding? It is going to be. Thank you very much. Good night. Well, after sitting through a section of the American Special Service after sitting through a large section of the American Secret, well, its mass isn't actually that far off. If a Toyota Corolla. Now, as we just heard in that clip, there was dust, testicles, spectacles, wallet and watch.